in more ways than one, and I refuse to leave till I see the morning sun. Hey. The time is right. You hold me tight, and love's got me high. Please tell me yes, and don't say no, 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 not tonight. Move a little close to me. You owe it to yourself, and I will selfishly take a little for myself. And it's because of you that love won't let me wait. Not another minute. Yeah.
All right. Welcome to Calculations, the talk show, along with the Thought Brothers. We got a special guest. We got Darnell Alexander. Fellas, you just heard with your own damn ears. Tell me what you think. What do you think? Come on, let's go with Carlos. What do you think?
Mr. Darnell Alexander. All right. Let's man, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, wow. I'm trying to figure out why I don't know more about you already, but I'm sure after we finish speaking with the rest of the Thought Brothers here, we're gonna know a lot about you, and gonna have to patronize you, man, because you tore it down, and I only caught about 90 seconds of it. So that's my intro and take. Well, Mr. Spivey, I'm going to Mr. Spivey. Always bring CJ in because CJ always bring it home for us. Mr. Spivey, what you think about that? What's going on here?
Well, I'm telling you, I was taken back because Luther was one of my most favorite artists. I would say Luther was number one, and Barry White would be number two, and then it goes on down the list to Isaac Hayes and those guys. Unfortunately, all of them are gone now, performing somewhere else. But I'm gonna tell you, Darnell, the thing that really amazed me was when I was, they called me the researcher, so I did my due diligence on looking into your background, and I saw that you were from Seattle, Washington.
Yes.
But I was amazed at some of the people that you have performed with, Patti LaBelle and Philip Bailey with Earth, Wind, and Fire. And then I saw that you had performed with James Brown.
Yeah.
Which tells me you've been around for a minute.
Yeah, right.
So I'm gonna tell you, it sounds like you've had an extraordinary career, and the best sounds like is yet to come. I wish you the best, and I will definitely be looking out for your music. Now, I do ask one question: is Luther the only one that you basically perform as, or do you do any other artists' song?
Oh, hang on, Bill. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
Hold tight.
Hold tight.
I didn't mean to jump the gun.
No. We're gonna get to that.
Because I got to ask about Teddy Pendergrass. You got what I need.
Oh man.
Hey, look, turn out the lights.
Turn out the lights.
Turn out the light.
Let's get to CJ, and then we'll get back, because Darnell is probably, and I'll let him talk about how this all started, but he's got stuff all over the internet from Teddy, Donny Hathaway, Alexander O'Neal.
Yeah.
But CJ, what did you think about what you saw?
I mean, I don't have much to add. It was spectacular, like I said, cover, spectacular rendition. I love a good cover of a great song, and like I said, you can't go wrong there. Like I said, that's a real singer right there.
Thank you.
And you all probably saw how Darnell helped me surprise Melba Moore. And Melba lovingly put me in check, and I think Darnell too, about, he sounds like Luther, but there's only one Darnell. She said he sounds like Darnell Alexander.
She did. She came with it.
Yeah. So, Darnell, before you tell us a little bit about some of the other covers and things,
Yeah.
just give the viewers a little background about who you are and how you got here, and then I'm gonna turn it over to the fellas.
Okay, so obviously, from Seattle, Washington, born and raised. I started singing, in talent shows in high school, right? From there, started doing nightclubs, and that's when I started meeting producers who wanted to invest in me and want to see what they could do with the talent. And so, of course, doing those talent shows, I was singing Luther Vandross a cappella because, back then they didn't have the versions that you can just look up online to sing. So I would sing in talent shows without music. And then as I got older, I started, finding the LPs and the instrumentals and started doing those in the clubs. And through doing all of that, I started making connections with people who were connected in the industry in Seattle. And I wouldn't call it a really big industry, but there's a lot of talent, a lot of people who are driven to be successful. So started out with a group called Third Level, and we were on Seattle The Dark Side, which is Sir Mix-a-Lot's compilation. And from there, went on to Second Nature, which was an R&B a cappella group, super fun. That's where we started doing a lot more of the tours with Boyce and Man, Patty LaBelle, and Roger and Zapp. Groups like that did the BET soundstage for Midnight Love with Queen Latifah, and we did the Apollo Theater, scary as hell. But back to when I was with Third Level, I was more like a solo artist with a group of people who were supporting me, and we did James Brown and Mint Condition, I believe Club Nouveau back then. And then after Second Nature, we kind of hit the road for a couple of years, and after that, everybody kind of, we kind of lost track of what was happening. The label was done with us. That whole doo-wop R&B kind of pop culture just changed, and that's when NSYNC and all those guys took over. So took a back seat, and then I started doing solo stuff from there. And I want to say it seemed like a lot of time had passed because I moved to California from 2001 to 2003, did a little bit down there, and then moved to Minneapolis in 2003 and didn't put out anything until 2009. From 2009, I did, from 2009 to until today, I put out 4 projects that have been released. So, people are always saying, you have original material, do you know who you are? I'm like, yeah, sure. But, there's always a different way. There's always many ways to the top. I think people don't realize that the top is not a tiny spindle, but a large platform, that there's only a few people up there, really. But in our minds, when we're starting out, we think it's like, there's only space for, so far and few between. But anyway,
okay,
coming to today, and the whole social media, craze, and that's where I got noticed on TikTok, because I had been performing for a minute, but didn't have, much of a crowd for my solo original material. As soon as I started doing the covers, all hell broke loose.
That's how I got a hold of you, and I'm like, wow. And before we start the interview, and I know this is probably putting you on the spot, but
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Think something, because Carlos, he's
Yeah.
a Teddy guy.
Yeah.
What do you got? Because for all these people who say, oh, it's AI.
Oh, yeah.
Look, we got the guy right here. Come on, you pick in. You got a Teddy cover you can do?
I've waited all day long just to hold you in my arms. And it's exactly like I thought it would be. Me loving you and you loving me. Oh, close the door.
He's got to get the hard with it, and then just let me rub your back when you say it so. Just the smooth and the rough. Teddy's a monster. I might go hoarse trying to do him one night.
Yeah,
Carlos,
yeah.
Are you tearing up? Are you fangirling on this?
Hey, man, that's serious, man. I was just reading some stuff on Teddy Pendergrass this past weekend about the Rolls Royce and the Maserati and the big house outside Philadelphia. And all the hits and Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And I just remember, man, I was a little kid, but I remember, man, he was just tearing it up, man. I mean, he was just like, see this guy in the late 70s, early 80s with the white suit and the collar out, the gold chain, and all those pieces of clothing being thrown on the stage. He was a bad dude, man. He was a bad dude, man.
He
So
was.
yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Well, Carlos, let's go. Let's take the rounds. Let's give you about 5 minutes and go to Spivey and CJ, and let's just have a conversation. We in the barbershop.
Oh, we in the barbershop. Well, man, like they would say, what's that? Coming to America barbershop. That boy can sing. He can sing.
That boy good.
He real good. He real good. That's the chicken wings. Anyway, hey, look, man. Hey, Darnell, I just want to say, man, you talked about a little bit about your path, but at the end of the day, man, why do you do what you do?
Yeah, I love it. And it's like the creative part is my favorite. So sure, I can get on stage and sing a song, but recording it and then giving that to people to hear it is my favorite thing. I think my new favorite is going to be doing these covers in front of people, because I really forgot. I was in a disco band in the late 90s and people were losing their minds. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like I'm singing Brick House and, the Commodores and Rick James and everything, wearing an afro, tight clothes, and just gigging on stage. And I'm like, okay, people really dig this. And then, I'm singing my original stuff and I pour my heart and soul into everybody's just like, it's wonderful. I'm like, so now I get it. So I'm like, when I take this on the road, man, I don't even know what to expect.
Wow. And you know what? I mean, where are you based at now?
I'm in Minneapolis now.
You're Minneapolis now?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And let me see, being in Minneapolis, what's that Minneapolis vibe and sound like? Even though Prince is no longer with us,
yeah.
Is it that Minneapolis sound with the Morris Day and the time and all the Sheila E's and all talk to us about that,
look,
man.
I wish that I was here when that was happening. It's not the same vibe. Even like when I go back to Seattle, it's not the same vibe of when I was coming up.
Okay.
It was like the energy was just, you could feel it. And there was just so many people doing so much. There are a lot of talented musicians here. I don't think I'm aware of where the vibe is, where everybody's like, where it's just, it's electricity in the air and people are just, sharing in the glory of the talent. So, I just kind of sit in my little cave and make jams and sing songs. It's like I heard Lizzo came from here. I had never heard of her before. I didn't see her around. I've been here since 2003. I didn't know she existed. So it's kind of like that. The music scene is kind of quiet here from what I've experienced.
What about the First Avenue Club that was made famous in Purple Rain and Prince's Day? I believe that the club is still.
Yep, it's still there. People play it. Yeah, people play that spot.
Okay, so that is a place where up and coming artists can still go and play and be found and discovered, but it just doesn't have the vibe it had 40 years.
It's not, right? Because you ain't got Morris Day and all those folks and they're sitting in the back like, maybe I need to snatch somebody out of there.
Exactly.
Alexander O'Neill, and things like that.
Wow. Well, I mean, I think that really answers a lot of my questions. I don't want to take all of them from the rest of the crew. I appreciate the Teddy, output, man. That was very nice. And let me throw it to Mr. Spivey. Mr. Spivey, what you got, man? We talking about Teddy. We talking about Minneapolis. We talking about the time. We talking about. Come on, man. What you got?
Well, Darnell, I got to say, when you were singing Teddy's song, it brought back memories. Because I'm old school.
Yeah.
And back in the day, what you were doing was a big thing when I was coming up. Guys singing a cappella.
Yeah.
And that's when you knew people could sing. Because if you couldn't sing a cappella, you were never going to make it. And all those guys, Temps, Four Tops, the Platters, all those guys used to do a cappella. And it was long before AI and all of this, synthesizing and putting all of this stuff into the music. So I was really amazed. The group that you started out with, you all were doing a cappella back then, right?
Second Nature, yeah, the four-man a cappella group. We were doing all the doo-wop songs, and we had tracks, but we wanted to make sure that whenever we showed up somewhere and we could get put on the spot, which we actually did, MC Hammer put us on the spot when we showed up to Urban Network Convention in '95. We just came in with our luggage, and he was like, "Here's my group, go." So we had to sing a cappella in the lobby, back and forth with his group.
Wow. Wow. You know, and Carlos, you probably don't remember, but Teddy was not only hot as a musician. Back in the day, Teddy had Teddy jeans, Teddy leather coats,
What?
Teddy pocketbooks. Teddy was on the road. He was at the top of the game.
Yeah, well, I can't remember all that. I just remember the songs
Yep.
and the occasional glimpse on TV and the white suit and in the store, the interviews and man, but yeah, just he was doing his thing. So fantastic. We didn't get to Luther. We still on Teddy.
Right.
Oh man.
Okay, CJ, it's all yours, bud.
Oh, awesome. I see you've done a lot of like the classic, artists, some of the greats. Are there any more contemporary, more modern artists that you like to cover or that you are a fan of?
Yeah. It was funny. Everybody compares me to like Jaheim and Luther because Jaheim's kind of got that tone.
Yeah.
And I totally get it because I like that manly, tough sound while singing smooth. It's something about it that that really is attractive to me. But I do like artists like Chris Brown and Usher, and Tank. But I think I don't cover many of the newer artists because when I want to feel a certain type of way, I always go to the '80s and '90s, sometimes the '70s. But I do like a lot of their music.
Okay, yeah, just trying to get a feel for it. And it's interesting that you talked about the scene where you're at in Minneapolis, as you said.
Yes.
As it's compared to some other scenes, as I ask all the musical guests to, as we already touched upon it,
Yeah.
kind of the feel of their city, and it's really interesting to see the differences.
Yep.
Just in terms of what sound would you say is, I guess, a distinguishing sound from that area, would you say?
I want to say it's definitely more R&B. Yeah. More contemporary R&B. So more of like the I want to say like the 2000-ish, 90s, 2000-ish sound. In my opinion, I can't be the judge of everything, but from what I can hear, that's kind of like what's the overarching sound out of here.
Nice.
But there's a lot of hip hop. There's a lot of hip hop here too. So and that's everywhere, even back home. The hip hop artists have been trying to take over, but I'm here to bring this R&B back.
Yeah, hip hop is dominating the charts. Hip hop and pop artists really are the only things that dominate the charts. Because I play in a band and there's no bands either, so we're in this kind of the same boat. The kind of R&B groups and bands have kind of been phased out for these solo artists and rappers.
And I think what to your point there, I have like an extra drive because of this to really bring it back to the forefront. I feel like if I partner up with enough people, make enough relationships, that we might be able to turn this around. You know what I mean?
I think you're right. I think there'd be, just at my experience as a musician personally, I think there is a demand for that because it is so oversaturated with solo artists that sound similar. They're chasing a market, sound. They're chasing what is already successful, and it makes the music derivative. So we have a lot of rappers that sound the same. We have a lot of singers that sound the same. A lot of pop stars and things like that. So I think there is this genuine thirst for, like I said, the throwback to that good classic era of music, to bring back, like I said, bands, R&B groups, and things like that. So I believe there's definitely going to be a lane going forward for sure.
Look, man, we're missing the greats. Like, we're losing more greats than we're filling the holes that are being created.
Oh yeah, I talk about that all the time. If you talk about, I mean, I always focus on bands because I'm in a band, but the same thing for, like I said, legacy artists in terms of big R&B artists. There's not a lot of new acts that are coming up that are sustainable. They might be one-hit wonders, that they'll be hot for a year, but how many acts that are really touring? If you're talking about bands, you see Metallica and Red Hot Chili Peppers, and those guys are 50 and 60 years old. They've been out for a while, and there's not been a new guard, as you said, to fill the void for the greats that eventually have to retire.
Yeah, you got a point there. It's like across the board, with greats missing. I mean, I think the only segment that's really kind of holding on to greats is the country music side. And it's like R&B should be right there with it, to be honest.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but thank you for the insight. Yeah, like I said, this is great.
You know what? I'm going to go old school Johnny Carson. Remember Johnny Carson when he was a talk show? He had the great Karnak. you know, and he would hold the envelope up and just, what I'm feeling here, I'm feeling down the road. I want you all to think, I want the fellas to think of the, the vocal duet from Luther and Cheryl Lynn, If
Yes.
This World Were Mine.
Yes.
All right. Now, you know that. Now, picture in this envelope, it's telling me Darnell and Beth.
Oh, Beth Manley. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you heard it here. I'm telling you, man. I feel it. I'm feeling it.
I'd buy that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely buy that one.
Darnell, what's next? What would you like to see? Because I know stuff is blowing up.
Yeah.
It's all around you. You got to pump your brakes.
Yep.
You got great management, you know, so I know that.
Yeah.
So what do you see as the big next step for you?
So the next step is getting out there and showing these people that it's live, not Memorex. Remember those commercials?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I've got like bucket list items for music. You know, I need to take this national TV. I want to get it on where everybody can feel it and see it. And another goal of mine is to get with, you know, I can write my own music and I can sing, you know, the way I do, but I know there are magic makers out there who can take my voice and write the songs that will really make the impact I'm trying to make. I've had experience in the past with producers who were like, that, let's do this with that. And I know they still exist today. I just haven't found them. But in the meantime, I'm working on my own material. I got a duet with a young man out of Minneapolis, Jordan Johnston.
Johnston,
yeah,
Jordan,
man.
yeah.
Yep, Jordan. And he's a talented young musician. So I said, let's get on, let's do something together. And I love collaborating with people, especially if they're really talented, and just have fun, you know, and share in the love of music and creation. You know, I'm not one of those artists that's like, yeah, this is my world and this is my thing. I'm like, no. You know, this is what I do. You do what you do. Let's bring it together. Let's love each other, respect each other's talent.
So what makes you different? What was your earliest or most vivid recollection of being different?
Being able to like sing all these different singers. When
Okay.
I was in middle school and the girls would call me up, sing the Bard, sing Michael Jackson, sing this. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. You know, and I'm kind of like, you know, I'm a creative type of person. So, you know, I don't know, you know, it's like the emotional aspect of it always comes into play for me to release creativity in some sort of way. But being able to sing is definitely different for me because I knew singers, but I didn't really know them until like high school, right? I didn't know that even existed. I just like, I do what I hear on the radio, you know, or when I'm on a road trip and the song is playing, you know, in rotation 10 times in a row. But then to grow up and then meet other singers, it was kind of surreal, you know.
What was your aha moment when you realized you had this gift that was something special? Well, how old were you?
Probably high school, you know, doing the talent shows. I'll never forget. We did a talent show. It was like 10th or 11th grade, and I did How Deep Is Your Love on stage with Keith Sweat. That bass kicked in. Everybody was like, done. You know, it's like, how deep, you know, his voice is so high on that song. But yeah, I sang that song, man. And, you know, spend all day thinking, give that vibrato, no matter wondering why love has to change. You know what I'm saying? So, music really moved me, man. It's like, it just kind of controlled the dice with me, you know. It's like, that's my expression. Music was my expression back then, to get out insecurities, the, you know, sadness, the happiness, whatever. I use music to do.
What have you learned about the business of music?
It's weird. You know, because when we were in Second Nature, that was the closest I got to successful musicians who were actually, you know, not only making money for doing what they do, but, you know, they had the success. They were on TV, they were at the award shows and all of this. And we were kind of like, you know, in the audience to be able to witness, you know, these artists in our presence, but we never got close enough to, like, you know, go to an award show or experience it to the level. So the only thing I know is, you know, it's been the same ever since. Watch out for the sharks. Everybody wants something. and just try to be patient, be careful, and make the right decisions that are good for you and your family and your heart.
Well, this ain't your first rodeo, so you be good. You be good. Like I said, and I know your management, so you got good. You're in good hands.
Yeah, I mean, they're out there, but I always try to give people, the benefit of the doubt, and see if they, got something to work with. But I'm really looking at it from a whole different standpoint because this is not my first rodeo, and the nature of social media and what has happened with what I'm doing. I'm like, this is my opportunity to get it to the stratosphere if I can, and I need all the players to do that. And if it's not that, I'm not going to settle for less. And I don't want to downplay anyone's talent, skill, or anything. I just know what I want, and it's like a relationship. Go for exactly what you want. Don't settle, otherwise you're going to be unhappy.
Okay, fellas, I'm gonna turn it over to you as we round out and close out with Darnell. Go ahead, Mr. Financial Analyst.
All right, Darnell. When you coming to the DC area, man? What's up? We in the DC area. Gary living that good life on the beaches of Florida, but we up in the DC area, man.
That's the DMV, right? Is that the DMV?
Man?
Yeah.
Come on,
I got fans out there, so we're just waiting on the right deal to get me out there and do a show. So it's got to be coming soon. I feel like once people, kind of get witness to some of the videos from me doing some of these live shows, they're gonna get me out there real quick. So
okay,
I definitely see that.
We're gonna be in touch, brother, because I'm and when the Thought Brothers show up, you got to do some Teddy for me, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Spivey gonna want Luther, and CJ probably going. I know he got a little bit of that Barry White growing up. Get a little of that Barry White. Something. Get some of that going.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Hey, great speaking with you, Darnell. Appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Well, Darnell, I applaud you, and I really would like to thank you because I've said too many times that I think that type of music is gone forever, and you're bringing back Luther and Teddy and, Donny Hathaway and those type of guys. I've always thought that music would never come back with the music that, they have out today. Right. Now, Jaheim, I like Jaheim, and whenever I hear a song, I can tell it's Jaheim because he keeps the same beat in every song. But I applaud you for keeping those guys alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Not much to add. Like I said, thanks for your time. Like I said, let me know if you need a live band when you come to DC.
I'm gonna definitely need one when we come out there. Yeah, for sure. So we already know it's all connected now.
Yes, sir.
Darnell, tell people who are watching this show who maybe have been under a rock or just getting out, how can they experience your music? Because I know you're all over social media, but I want them to hear it from you.
Okay, so for the people who don't know, I'm on Spotify and iTunes under Darnell Alexander, but Darnell with one L. If you look at it with two L's, you may never find me. So Darnell with one L. And all the social medias, I'm keeping them consistent under Darnell Alexander Music. So, YouTube and Instagram are going to have a longer versions of these videos because if you go to TikTok, they won't let you put more than a minute up. Everybody's going to be, where's the rest of the song? What happened? You got to come over here. Come on over here. So
we're gonna do a feature. I mean, when I do this feature, we're gonna put you on Black Men in America. Yeah. And we'll have your YouTube channel and links to all the places that they can find you.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, we want it to be easy for people to find you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Darnell, it has been great having you on the show. Folks, I mean, take us out with something, Darnell. Just take us out with anything.
Well, we're mine. I would place at your feet all that I own. You've been so good to me. If this world were mine, I'd give you the flowers, the birds and the bees, with your love beside me. That would be all I need if this were my I'd give you anything
Man, that was my wedding song, man.
All
Look,
right,
man,
all right.
I still got a sinus infection with this, but I had to, you know, I'm almost done with it. So
You got a sinus infection, man?
Yeah, man. I'm singing around it.
You sure are. Because I'm like,
Show must go on.
I'm like,
See,
that's
you know,
my
you already
wedding
know.
song.
You know, look, I got to be prepared, man. If I show up
That's
for the
right.
show, I got to be ready to go. You know.
Oh my
A lot of
goodness,
guys did a
gentlemen.
lot of begging using that song.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Darnell Alexander with one L. And that's right. We are the Thought Brothers. Hang on, Darnell.
Okay.
And until next time, we are out of here.
Best of luck,
Right.
Darnell.
Good night.
Thank you, guys.
Good night.